Welcome to Rigguy Incorporated. We have prepared this DVD to provide you with general information concerning our patent-pending product, the wire stop. In addition, we have provided installation instructions and demonstrations. You can select what you'd like to see from the upcoming menu. This is a side-by-side comparison of traditional terminal hardware and the wire stop. There are 9 significant differences between the two systems. I will address 3 now and the others later in the presentation. As you can see, the wire stop is much smaller than traditional hardware. As a matter of fact, 1¼ inches long as opposed to 1½ feet long. The wire stop also weighs considerably less, 2.3 ounces as opposed to almost 2 pounds. In addition, there is a big difference in the number of parts used. The wire stop has only 2 parts per end, the outer block and the internal taper. The traditional system needs 5 pieces of hardware to make each end. In this section, I will demonstrate how to install the wire stop. The star-like pattern that is formed when the strand is opened is the key to a good and easy installation. The wire is not bent or deformed in any way, but rather it's popped open or unwound to the opposite direction of the normal lay of the strand. It can be helpful when first learning how to do this to unwrap and rewrap the strand several times. The strand will open to the pattern more easily each time it is opened and closed. This is a good picture of the pattern with the straight wire in the middle and the surrounding wires equally spaced. Another advantage of the wire stop is the smaller hole needed for installation. The hole drilled is only a 1/16 of an inch over the size of the strand. As you can see, this gives enough room for the strand to easily slide through the wood. This is what an installation looks like. The wire is inserted through the branch. The block is then placed over the strand. Next, the wire is untwisted. The taper is inserted, making sure to keep the wire pattern. Then the middle wire is bent over to hold the taper in place. This does not hold weight. It only keeps the taper in place. The weight is held by the taper being pulled into the block, trapping the wires. Next, the wires are trimmed to within 1/8 of an inch of the taper. A finishing cap can then be installed if desired. The finishing cap does not affect the function of the wire stop. It only affects the looks, and it gives some protection from the exposed wires. In this section, you will see a field installation of the wire stop. Because the leads are close together, I will drill both and then install the strand. If the leads were further apart, I would drill and install the wire stop on the first lead and then drill the second lead, insert the strand and tension the system with a Havens grip and a come-along, then install the second wire stop. Installing the cable system in this order keeps the climber from having to go back and forth between the leads during installation. while I'm finishing the installation on the back side of this lead, let me tell you two more advantages of the wire stop. Since the strand remains straight in the wire stop installation, the bends of the terminal hardware are removed. This also means that there is no metal rubbing metal, as with an eye bolt, thimble, and preformed wrap. Here you can see how to tension the system using a Klein's Havens wire grip and a come-along. It's important to place the rope holding the wire grip close to the wire stop so that the wire does not slack when the tension is released. This is another example of the wire stop being installed. The block is placed over the strand. Then the wire is untwisted to the star-like pattern. Next, the taper is inserted and the middle wire is bent over. Lastly, the wires can be trimmed back to within 1/8 of an inch of the taper. Notice how the wire stop seats when the tension is released from the come-along. The finishing cap can now be installed. The cap is for looks and for protection from the sharp wires, but is not necessary and does not affect the function of the wire stop. This is the finished product, a safe, clean, permanent, and professional looking cable installation using the wire stop. Here's our contact information.